Let me start with a question that will determine the entire value of your time here today. What if the secret to growing 10 times faster is not about you at all? What if the breakthrough you've been waiting for, the opportunity, the success, the recognition, is actually hiding behind someone else's growth? Most people chase success as if it's a personal race, but the truth is simple: success is a boomerang. Whatever you throw out, support, encouragement, opportunity, it finds its way back to you multiplied. And that is exactly why you should listen to the end of this speech. Because if you truly understand this principle, your work, your relationships, your leadership, and your entire life will shift in ways you didn't think were possible. This isn't feel-good motivation, this is strategy. This is human nature, this is how real success works. We rise not when we push others down, but when we lift them up. Think about the strongest leaders, not the loud ones, not the powerful ones, but the ones who made WOW feel powerful. They are unforgettable because they didn't just succeed, they helped others succeed. Helping someone rise does more than change their life, it changes the culture around them. It creates a ripple. That ripple becomes trust, trust becomes loyalty, and loyalty becomes impact. In a world obsessed with competition, your greatest advantage is collaboration. People don't remember what you built, they remember how you made them feel on the way there. When you lift someone up, you are planting a seed that grows roots you cannot see. One day, you'll find a door open, an opportunity waiting, a path cleared, and you'll realize it came from someone you once encouraged, supported, or believed in. That's the tank's return, not immediately, not loudly, but inevitably. Helping others is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's not charity, it's leadership. The strongest people aren't the ones who stand tallest. They're the ones who bend down to help someone else stand up. Every time you help someone rise, you are building an invisible network of gratitude, trust, and respect. That network will carry you higher than any individual effort ever could. So if you want to rise, lift. If you want more success, give more support. If you want your life to expand someone else's. Because when you help others rise, success doesn't just return to you, it comes back 10x. And that is how we build a world where rising isn't lonely, it's shared. The paradox of true success is one of the most misunderstood truths of human progress. We are taught from childhood that success is a race, a ranking system, a ladder where only one person can stand at the top at a time. But life has a remarkable way of revealing deeper truths once we begin paying attention. When we look closely at people who create meaningful, sustainable, and lasting success, we notice a pattern. The ones who rise the highest are the ones who lifted others along the way. This idea is not philosophical fluff. It's human psychology, biology, and behavior at its core. We are wired for cooperation. We thrive in environments where someone believes in us, mentors us, supports us, and pushes us forward. And because we are wired that way, something very powerful happens when we become the person who lifts others. The impact returns, not from chance, but from human nature responding to leadership, kindness, and contribution. That's why the paradox exists. The more we give, the more we gain, not because of luck, but because people remember who helped them rise. Imagine for a moment two individuals starting at the same point. One is obsessed with personal success, constantly guarding their knowledge, opportunities, and advantages. They climb alone, measuring progress by how far ahead they are of others. The second individual moves differently. They share ideas, open doors, mentor people, and actively celebrate the wins of those around them. They create momentum not just for themselves, but for everyone in their circle. Over time, the first person becomes isolated. Their rise is limited by their own effort. The second person grows exponentially, uplifted by the very people they empowered. The irony is unmistakable. The person who tried to rise alone eventually hits a ceiling, while the person who lifted others finds themselves carried upward by a rising tide of relationships, goodwill, and trust. The paradox of true success is rooted in something far deeper than strategy. It is rooted in how people respond emotionally to those who genuinely contribute to their lives. When someone makes us feel seen, valued, and capable, we remember it. We hold it with us, and when the opportunity arrives to support them, recommend them, hire them, collaborate with them, or open a door for them, we do it without hesitation. Helping someone rise plants seeds of loyalty that no transaction could ever replicate. It builds a foundation of trust that becomes the real currency of success. Trust is the rarest and most valuable resource in any human endeavor, and it is earned fastest when we help others become better. But lifting others is not only about external impact, something powerful shifts internally too. When you help someone rise, you reshape your own identity. You begin to see yourself not just as someone trying to succeed, but as someone who creates success. That alone changes how you lead, how you communicate, and how you operate. You stop chasing validation and start building value. You stop competing with others and start collaborating with them. You stop fearing their success and start celebrating it, because you realize that someone else's rise does not take away from your potential. It expands it. Helping others rise also teaches humility. It reminds us that no matter how skilled, talented, or smart we believe we are, none of us succeeds alone. Every achievement in our lives has roots in the support we receive from someone else. A parent, a mentor, a teacher, a friend, a colleague. When we acknowledge that truth, giving to others becomes a natural extension of gratitude. And gratitude is one of the most powerful catalysts of growth because it shifts our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of believing success is limited, we recognize that success expands every time we help another person discover their own strength. There's a quiet confidence that comes from being the person who lifts others. It's not loud, it's not showy, it's steady and grounded. You no longer need to prove yourself because the impact you create becomes the proof. The people you lifted become living testimonials of your character. And character, far more than credentials, is what opens doors that talent alone cannot. There is something deeply rewarding about watching someone rise because of your encouragement or guidance. It's a form of success that is richer, more meaningful, and more enduring than any personal achievement. We often think we are helping others, but in reality, we are also helping ourselves. We are becoming leaders who earn respect rather than demand it. We are creating bonds that last, relationships that matter, and opportunities that return at the right moments in unexpected ways. When you lift someone else first, you are not delaying your success. You are accelerating it. You are building a network of people who genuinely want to see you win. You are positioning yourself as a giver, not a taker. And in every human ecosystem, business, leadership, relationships, the giver becomes the most valuable person in the room because they improve the lives of everyone around them. Think about any team you've been a part of. Who was the person everyone gravitated toward? It wasn't the one who was loudest about their skills. It wasn't even the one with the highest performance metrics. It was the person who made others feel like they could win. That person becomes the heart of the team. They become irreplaceable. They become the one others trust when challenges arise. Their value multiplies because they multiply the value of others. Helping someone rise is also the fastest way to build influence. Influence isn't built through authority, power, or position. It's built through impact. People follow those who help them grow. They trust those who invest in them. They admire those who give without expecting credit. That form of influence is sustainable because it is rooted in genuine contribution, not self-interest. The more people you help rise, the larger your circle of influence becomes, and influence is the true engine of long-term success. The paradox becomes clear. The fastest way to rise is not to focus on your own ascent, but to be the reason someone else ascends. Success is not a solo climb, it is a shared journey. And the more people you help lift, the higher you rise, not because they owe you, not because you expect it, but because human beings naturally elevate those who once elevated them. Real success does not leave people behind. Real success inspires, strengthens, and multiplies. When you lift others, you activate a cycle of growth that eventually turns back toward you with momentum far greater than what you could generate alone. And that is why helping others rise is not just good character, it is the smartest strategy for creating a future where your own success becomes inevitable. The ripple effect principle reminds us that one simple act of support, encouragement, or kindness doesn't just impact the person standing in front of us, it travels, spreads, and multiplies in ways we may never witness. Human behavior is contagious, inspiration is contagious, courage is contagious. And when we choose to support someone, even in a small way, the influence of that choice extends far beyond the moment we make it. This is the quiet power of positive action. We never truly know how far it goes, but it always goes farther than we think. Most people underestimate the effect they have on others. They think they need grand gestures or massive resources to make an impact. But the truth is that the most powerful changes in people often begin with something small, a word, a push of belief, a moment of support at just the right time. What seems insignificant to us can be life-changing to someone else. And once that change begins, it doesn't stop with them. It continues through them. That is the ripple effect in its purest form impact that keeps moving long after we've walked away. Consider how one person's encouragement can reshape a life. A student who almost gives up but hears a teacher say, "You're capable of more than you see." A young entrepreneur ready to quit until someone invests not money but belief in their ability. A colleague whose confidence grows because a leader noticed their effort. These moments are sparks, and sparks start fires. The person who receives support doesn't just grow, they begin to pass that belief forward consciously or unconsciously. They treat others with the same encouragement they received. They become more generous, more confident, more willing to help the next person. Your single act becomes their standard of behavior. In this way, support multiplies and its roots spread far beyond what you can track or measure. What makes the ripple effect so powerful is that it's not linear, it's exponential. When you support one person, you're not just impacting them, you're impacting everyone they influence, and everyone those people influence, and so on. You're shaping families, teams, communities, and cultures unintentionally but significantly. A single positive action can transform an environment simply by shifting how people treat each other. Humans mirror what they experience. When they experience support, they give it. When they feel value, they value others. When they feel lifted, they lift others. This chain reaction is subtle but unstoppable. Once it begins, you may never see the full extent of your ripple. You may never know how many people were strengthened because you chose to support someone at a critical moment. And perhaps that's the most beautiful part of it. Genuine support is not given for recognition. It is given because you understand the unseen power of influence. You plant seeds without demanding to see the forest that grows from them, yet the forest grows anyway. The ripple effect also works a powerful form of leadership. The best leaders don't create followers, they create other leaders. They don't wait for moments of crisis to support someone. They create a culture where support is normal, automatic, and expected. In such environments, People feel safe to experiment, fail, try again, and grow. When someone feels supported, they are more creative, more resilient, and more willing to take risks. And when people take more risks, innovation becomes natural. All of this starts with a single supportive act that sets the tone for everyone else. It's important to understand that the ripple effect is not limited to grand environments or leadership roles. It happens everywhere, within families, friendships, workplaces, and even in brief interactions with strangers. A smile, a compliment, a moment of real listening, a reminder that someone matters. These things may feel insignificant, but they carry emotional weight. People remember how they were made to feel in small moments. They then project that feeling into their interactions with others. In this way, a simple act from you can influence someone you will never meet. That is the unseen magic of human connection. There's a story often told about a man walking on a beach covered in starfish that had washed ashore. A child was picking them up and throwing them back into the ocean one by one. The man said, "You'll never save them all. There are too many. What you're doing doesn't matter." The child picked up one more starfish, threw it back, and said, "It mattered to that one." We often look at the world through the lens of scale and overlook the power of one. But the ripple effect does not require you to save everyone. It only requires you to impact someone, because that someone will continue the ripple far beyond your reach. Support creates possibility. Possibility creates action. Action creates momentum. Momentum changes outcomes. And outcomes create stories that inspire more action. This is how movements start. Not from big moments, but from small, consistent acts that multiply quietly until they become undeniable. When you support others, you are not just helping them succeed. You are contributing to a chain of influence that can shift the culture of a family, a workplace, or even a generation. What makes the ripple effect so profound is that it transcends time. A mentor may change a life in a moment, and that life may go on to influence thousands over decades. A leader who chooses kindness over authority impacts future leaders they will never meet. A parent who teaches their child empathy creates an adult who will spread compassion long after the parent is gone. Your support doesn't just multiply, it outlives you. The ripple effect principle teaches us responsibility. Every action, every word, every gesture creates waves. We can choose whether those waves bring people closer to courage or closer to fear, closer to growth or closer to doubt. When we choose support, we choose to send waves of positivity into a world that desperately needs them, and the world responds in kind. People rise when they feel supported. Teams thrive when they feel understood. Communities grow when kindness becomes a habit. These transformations are not random. They come from ripples started by someone who chose to care. One act of support multiplies beyond anything we can measure because it touches something deeper than logic. It touches the human heart. People carry it with them. They pass it forward. And the more they pass it forward, the more the original act grows. You may never know how many lives you've impacted, but the impact is real. The ripple continues wide and unstoppable long after the moment has passed. Just by supporting someone, you set into motion a chain of positive influence that expands far beyond your sight. That is the power you hold, and every day offers a new opportunity to use it. The idea that human advantage is greater than competitive advantage challenges the way most people think about progress, business, leadership, and success. We've been conditioned to believe that competition is the ultimate driver of excellence, that you have to be sharper, faster, more efficient, and more strategic than the next person. But when you look closely at the organizations, teams, and individuals who create extraordinary results, you discover something surprising. Their greatest strength isn't competition, it's people. Competitive advantage gives you a momentary edge. Human advantage gives you lasting impact. And the reason is simple. People aren't resources, people are results. When we treat people as resources, we reduce them. Tools, something to use, manage, or measure. Tools can be replaced. Tools can be copied. Tools eventually lose their value. But when we recognize people as results, the entire mindset shifts. People are not just part of the outcome, they are the outcome. Success doesn't happen because of systems alone. It happens because of the minds, the hearts, and the hands carrying those systems. Productivity doesn't increase because of pressure. It increases because people feel supported, motivated, and valued. Innovation doesn't emerge from competition. It emerges from environments where people feel safe to experiment, fail, and think differently. When people thrive, the result is excellence. When people are diminished, the result is mediocrity, no matter how strong the strategy or structure. The greatest leaders understand that human advantage is the foundation of everything meaningful. They know that trust is more valuable than tactics, loyalty is more powerful than fear, and inspiration outperforms intimidation every single time. People don't give their best because they're being managed. They give their best because they believe in the person leading them, and they believe in the purpose behind their work. A team driven by inspiration will outperform a team driven by pressure in the long run. Pressure might deliver quick wins, but inspiration delivers sustained greatness. When people feel they matter, they become more creative, more resilient, more committed, and more willing to take ownership. They stop working for a leader and begin working with the leader. That shift is the difference between compliance and commitment, between surviving and excelling, between doing the minimum and pursuing mastery. The results come from people who are connected, not controlled. And this is where the true power of human advantage reveals itself. Competitive advantage can be copied. Products can be replicated. Technology becomes outdated. Strategies expire. But the way you treat people, the culture you build, the loyalty you inspire, these things cannot be cloned. They are unique, and they are the very things that create enduring success. When competitors try to imitate your innovation, they can't imitate your trust. When they try to mimic your strategy, they can't mimic the relationships you've nurtured. When they try to replicate your model, they can't replicate the sense of belonging your people feel. Human advantage is not just a strength, it is a protective shield around your success. When we say people aren't resources, they are results, we are acknowledging that people are not a means to an end. They are the end itself. The best organizations don't measure success solely by revenue or performance metrics. They measure success by how people grow, how teams evolve, and how well the culture supports human potential. A company that produces great numbers but damages people along the way is not successful. It is only surviving. True success is when people leave an organization better than they entered it. When they grow in confidence, skill, character, and compassion. When they feel safe, respected, and empowered. When they feel proud of what they are part of. Those outcomes are the real results. Treating people as results means seeing them not just for what they do, but for who they are capable of becoming. It means recognizing potential before performance. It means valuing effort as much as outcome. It means having the patience to develop people instead of replacing them the moment they struggle. It means investing time in understanding their strengths instead of only pointing out their weaknesses. When people feel seen for who they are, they begin to become more. And when they become more, the entire system becomes more. The leaders who elevate people create something competitors can never touch, meaning people don't stay in jobs for salaries alone. They stay for purpose, belonging, and growth. They stay when they feel their contributions matter. They stay when trust is present, communication is open, and dignity is preserved. And when people stay not out of obligation, but out of alignment, the results they create are extraordinary. They innovate because they care. They collaborate because they trust. They build because they believe. These are results no amount of competition can produce. When you build human advantage, you are building something timeless. You are building communities where people don't just show up physically, they show up emotionally. They don't just give effort, they give passion. They don't just complete tasks, they create impact. They don't just follow instructions, they shape the vision. Competitive advantage might win a quarter. Human advantage wins a decade. But this idea extends beyond workplaces. It applies to families, friendships, and everyday relationships. The way we treat people determines the quality of those relationships. When we treat people as tools, only reaching out when we need something, only valuing them for what they give us, we create weak transactional bonds. But when we treat people as meaningful results, prioritizing connection, understanding, and support, we create relationships that enrich our lives. The strongest families are built on mutual care. The strongest friendships are built on trust. The strongest communities are built on shared values. And all of these are human advantages, not competitive ones. Competition might push us to achieve more, but human advantage allows us to become more. And becoming more is the essence of true success. People aren't obstacles. They aren't tools. They aren't numbers. They aren't resources to be extracted until they burn out. People are living, thinking, feeling beings capable of extraordinary things when placed in the right environment. Every breakthrough in history came from people. Every innovation, every invention, every movement, every transformation, none of it happened because someone tried to be better than everyone else. It happened because people believed in something, collaborated with others, and pushed boundaries together. Humanity's greatest achievements were created by teamwork, not rivalry. The world is changing rapidly, and the organization's leaders and individuals who win the future will not be those who compete the hardest. They will be those who understand human advantage. They will be the ones who put people first. They will be the ones who protect well-being, nurture talent, and build cultures of trust. They will be the ones who understand that if you take care of people, the people will take care of everything else. People aren't resources, they are results. And when you invest in people, you are investing in the most powerful driver of success that exists. Everything else, profit, performance, innovation, influence, will naturally follow. Legacy is not built in the moments when the world is watching. It is built quietly, consistently in the small decisions of how we show up for others, how we serve, how we give, and how we make people feel. Contribution is the true author of our story, and it leaves a mark far deeper than any title, achievement, or accomplishment ever could. What you achieve may impress the world for a moment, but what you contribute becomes the reason the world remembers you. Contribution writes your story in the hearts of people, and hearts hold memories far longer than history books. Achievement is temporary, it fades with time. The promotion you earn will someday belong to someone else. The wealth you accumulate will eventually pass to different hands. The applause you receive will grow quiet. But the impact you create, how you lifted someone when they were down, how you inspired someone to believe in themselves again, how you gave without calculation, stays alive long after you're gone. Contribution is the one thing that expands as time moves forward. It survives you, it grows beyond you, it becomes your legacy. When people speak of those they admire, they rarely talk about their awards or their credentials. They talk about character, they talk about kindness, they talk about generosity, courage, and influence, the intangible qualities that shaped lives. Legacy is not the story you tell about yourself, it's the story others tell about you when you are not in the room. And those stories are always rooted in contribution. What you gave, what you shared, what you built in others, that's what endures. Contribution is powerful because it shifts the meaning of success. Instead of success being defined by how far you go, it becomes defined by how far you help others go. And something remarkable happens when we live this way. Our own success expands naturally. People gravitate toward those who contribute because contribution builds trust, respect, and connection. When your focus is on adding value rather than gaining advantage, doors open, not because you push them, but because others want to open them for you. Contribution becomes the invisible force that pulls opportunity into your life. But contribution is not about grand gestures. You don't need to donate millions, build an empire, or make global changes to create a legacy. Sometimes the greatest accomplishment is simply being fully present for someone, listening in a world that is too loud, encouraging in a world that is too critical, staying compassionate in a world that is too cynical. Small acts of giving carry extraordinary weight because people rarely forget the moments when someone chose to care. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. Your contribution might be the thing that restores their hope. Your words might be the push that stops them from giving up. Your support might be the reason they believe in themselves again. And once their life changes, they pass that strength to others. That ripple continues to grow, becoming part of your legacy even if you never know it. Contribution multiplies because people don't just receive it, they mirror it, expanding your impact far beyond your reach. Legacy becomes even deeper when contribution is aligned with purpose. When you use your gifts, your knowledge, your empathy, your skills, your experiences to make someone else's path easier, you turn your